Hey guys, today's video is not about one of these. In actual fact, it's about one of these. This is a diesel heater. Now, as usual, I'll tell you that I don't endorse any company or product, including this Hcalory device, but this video is more about me sort of checking it out, having a play with it, showing you guys what it is. And so with that in mind, let's have a look. Now, before this, I'd never heard of a diesel heater, but they're actually quite clever. Now, there's many uses for this. For example, heating camper vans, for example. You could argue that you could heat the camper van by starting the engine and using the heater, and that would be true, but if you consider the size of an engine that runs camper vans, generally 2 litres or above, that's a massive engine that you're just leaving running just for the sake of heating that camper van, not to mention the noise associated. This is a very, very tiny engine. Okay, it's going to be very quiet, and it's going to be very, very much more economical than running a big engine to heat a vehicle. So that's one of the main reasons for this. It's also very portable, so you can use it to heat things like tents as well, and you can do that economically as well without the need for high power. They also call it a car parking heater. The reason they call it that is so that it can heat up the area where your car is parked, for example, a garage, so that you can make it easier for the car to start if you live in very cold environments. Now, my use case is to heat this room, this studio. It is in actual fact a badly converted garage. I have insulated the walls and there's plasterboard over them, and to heat it I've got a 2000 watt oil radiator, which these days is going to cost me quite a lot to use because of energy prices, although diesel prices have also gone up a little bit over these past few months. But I do believe that this is still going to be rather economical to run. So my plan is showing you what came in the box and showing you what features it has and showing you what it looks like inside. And I'm going to show you it running. We're going to talk about things like noise and heat output and how long it takes to heat up and stuff like that. Let's get on with it. So in the box with this, we got a remote control, some mounting brackets, some pipe fittings, an exhaust silencer, an exhaust pipe, and some vent pipes for the heat itself. So let's have a quick look at this. What we have is quite a stylish device, very brightly coloured in this red colour, with a carbon fibre frame on the top and the bottom. On the front we have the control module as well as the heat output. And then if I just flick it around to the other side, you can see that it has the wiring that's meant to go to the 12 volt battery. And then on the underneath here, we have the exhaust pipe. I think we need to take off this cap. And then we can take off this metal part, just like an old PC case. There we go. And here we are. So as you can see, the top of this is just a tank, a diesel tank, and it's kind of just sitting there quite loose, but I guess when the metal is around it and this cap is on, it's holding it in place. Coming out of the tank, you've got a rubber pipe which goes to this pump with the fuel line going down here. So all I really need to do now is stick some diesel in the tank, connect up the wires to a 12 volt battery, hook up the exhaust pipe system, and it should be pretty much ready to go. So I'm going to go and do that now. But I think what I'm going to do is do the whole diesel filling situation outside, because I'm probably going to spill it everywhere. So I filled it up about halfway. That's all I really need to do to test this. So the inlet is this side, so that is this one here. One of these ring clamps here as well. So stick the ring clamp around this pipe like so, and then we'll chuck it on here. So I now have my diesel heater connected to my power supply, which is a 12-volt output. And I've got the device actually sitting on some wood because I needed to give it some extra room for the exhaust pipe to come out of the side. Since I connected it to the 12-volt power supply, the clock on the front here is displaying a time. Now all there is really for me to do now is to switch it on and see what happens. So here's the remote control. You can see it has an on and an off button. So I'm going to press on and then we're going to see what happens. Okay, that's talking in Chinese, I believe. So it appears like it takes a little while for it to start up. The fan is on, but it sort of prepares itself before it starts the pump and starts the engine, as it were. So, and that's what we're waiting for when we switch it on. There we go. So the pump is now kicking some diesel into the combustion chamber. I can now hear noises coming from the exhaust pipe. Yep, there's quite a lot of hot air coming out of the exhaust at this point. And the air is now starting to warm up coming out of the main exit point here. Fans are running very, very fast now, and you can hear a lot of air coming out of the exhaust pipe, and you can hear some air coming out of this unit here, but the majority of the noise coming from this unit is actually coming from the exhaust. But if you think about it, that's going to be outside of whatever you're going to be doing. So for my purposes, for example, the exhaust will be going outside out of this room. So it's been running for a couple of minutes now, and the heat is very hot now coming out of this. I can still keep my hands in front of it just, although actually probably not anymore. The hot air that's coming out of it is very, very hot indeed. And there we go, it's all back together, and it's operating exactly as it should, and yeah, it's pretty cool. I can control the volume using the plus and minus on here. You can see the temperature changing on the front here, so that's very, very simple as well. Let's turn it off and see how long it takes to turn off. Speaking Chinese to me again. It's flashing off on the front, and you can hear the fans winding down. And you can hear the ticking of the pipes cooling down as well. Right, I've decided what I'm going to do with the diesel heater. Now, originally, what I was going to do was come out here and place it somewhere on the outside of this concrete building and just feed the vent inside so that I get the warmth, that all the noise and the fumes, etc., remain outside the building. But I have since decided not to do that, because the diesel heater actually has a thermostat to regulate heat, and that obviously isn't going to work if it's outside. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring it in to the studio. Now, I do have a separate compartment in here which I built. Now, as you can see, I've mounted this on a couple of wooden beams, and the reason for that is so that the hot exhaust pipe under here does not touch any of the wood. Obviously that would be a bad thing. I do need the exhaust pipe to go through the plasterboard on the other side and out through the concrete so that the exhausts leave this enclosed space. And then I'm going to use this pipe to take the hot air that comes out of the front of this unit through this plasterboard and out the other side where I'm going to have a vent. So that's what I'm going to be using. It's probably at the top here, so I'm going to create some sort of S like this and have the air blowing through the wall onto the other side through a vent. So that's the plan of action anyway. And then I need to obviously get some sort of 12-volt connection on here so that it can actually start. Right. Let's get on with it. I'm going to drill a hole in the wall now and get that exhaust pipe through the wall. So I'm going to use a drill bit like this to make a hole in the wall. These screws mean that there's a beam here which are holding these plasterboards on, so I'm going to drill in over here. So now we've got a nice circular hole. We will see the concrete wall, and that is what I need to drill through now. So I'm going to start with a smaller masonry bit, and then I'm going to use some bigger ones to get through. Made the first hole, and now I need to make some more holes to actually make that hole bigger. Okay, we're almost there. And there we go. So now my exhaust pipe is going to fit nicely out into the outside, which will keep the air fresh inside here. So here's the exhaust pipe on the other side here. So what I'm going to do is sort of bend it around like so. Right, now what I'm going to do is pop the silencer on here, so we want to reduce the noise. And there we go. We've got the exhaust pipe now silenced coming on the outside. It's up there, the exhaust is now out. Next point of call is for me to create a hole in this plasterboard to feed the pipe through. And for this I'm going to be using a serrated knife. Okay, so that should be it. So I'm going to thread this through now and then connect it up to the heater. So here's the other side of the wall. This is where the actual vent is coming through. As you can see, it doesn't look very sightly. I need to basically buy a vent to go across. It's like a grate, and that will make this look very, very nice. So that is going to be my next point of call. But I don't need that to test the unit. Right, so the only thing that this actually needs now is power. So I need to find a 12-volt power source for this. So here's the remote control. Let's test it out. I'm going to push it on. Yep, my Chinese friend is talking to me now. Let's go and have a look and see what's going on. So if I was to close this, now I can't hear it at all, or like I can hear some slight air coming out of that pipe. It hasn't started yet, so we're going to wait for it to start. So right now I have the diesel heater running in my studio, which is pretty cool. The vent up there is currently blowing hot air into this room. So it is actually much warmer in here than it is out there. It's not that loud. I can't hear the heater. I can hear air blowing through that pipe. It's not very loud, but the heater itself I can't hear. So I'm going to show you it working. So this is the air coming out of some warm air. It's nice and warm. And if we go in here, you can see this running. So it's blowing air through this vent to come out here, and exhaust is being blown out the back there. Got a suction pipe there, and yeah. This is nice and warm. But coming out again, close this door, can't hear it anymore. So it is pretty quiet, and the 5 litres of diesel cost about
£8, something like that. I love the fact that it's portable and I can use it for other things. That's cool. And also it was fun to set up, and this room is warm, and that was the main thing. So yeah, pretty cool device. Definitely worth it depending on the things that you want. You don't need to like this setup was just because of this this room that I have here. But if it was for a garage or something, you could just leave it running in a corner, obviously with the exhaust going outside. Anyway, if you're interested in getting one, you'll find a link in the description below. If there was anything that you'd like to know about this particular unit that I can help you with, just ask in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was quite fun for me because it's something that I've never dealt with before, and it's actually a useful device. And as usual, please like and subscribe if you like this kind of content. Until next time.